been done so many different ways. We think we might be able to do a little bit better. So this is our offering. This is the Agency Arms Nock. So obviously right off the bat, what we can see about the firearm is it's somewhat of a sight tracking Glock. What's cool about the gun right off the bat that we notice is we have a 17 overall length. So it's a 19 frame, 19 slide. Overall length is that of a 17. It'll work with a standard 17 holster. You don't have to modify anything unless you have a different kind of light you want to put on it. That's completely up to the individual. It does sport Warren sights. So let's forget about that for now. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of everything here. So the comp threads onto the barrel. All right. The reason we did that was it's very difficult to permanently affix a compensator to a firearm of this nature, being a Glock, because it's not a Browning design. The barrel doesn't come out the front, the barrel comes out the inside, so it's very difficult to do that. What we did was we timed threading, we distanced and spaced everything out, so when the gun is in cycle, everything works the way it's supposed to. We messed around with many different size ports. We decided on one size that will run the majority of manufacturers' ammo types. The benefit to this is this firearm is not a firearm based on one idea. This firearm is based on a collaborative effort between Randy and Mike himself. And this really caters to a lot of demographics of shooters. This isn't just a one niche gun. This can cater to a lot of shooters. So we didn't want to paint anybody into a corner with the firearm, so that's why we went with Lone Wolf for our frame. We did keep, obviously, our accelerator cut, which we've been able to get a little bit more aggressive on because of the depth that we can achieve with that frame. The next biggest thing that we have with this firearm is obviously this is a sight tracking gun. Now obviously it's not a 1911 or a 2011, so the ability to actually have the barrel stay put is a problem, but it does cant down a little bit. Some of you that shot it yesterday did realize that the sight doesn't move very much through operation. So why Project Nock? Why bother? Why do it? Well, because we decided that we wanted to offer something to the community that hasn't been done in a while, and we thought it needed a refresher. So we went ahead and we did that. Now, one of the coolest things about this setup, and you'll see this across the board with a lot of guns in its type, while the gun is in operation, as it moves back to battery, this relief here in the taper allows that timing to go back to center. The coolest thing about that is, while the gun's being run fast and any debris or anything that happens to get in there, channels it right out of there. We've run the gun. Each gun has had well over 4,000 rounds through it in its prototype phase. We wish we could have got more in, but we wanted a great SHOT Show launch. The recoil assembly is at 13, 15, and 18 pounds. It will be offered in 3 different spring rates. This is to cater to other shooters that may want to run a heavier, hotter load, a lower pressure load, or they want to make power factor. The other cool thing about this gun is you'll notice that we finally added the extra serrations that everyone wants. So this is great for those guys that want to do a tap rack over the top. They want to do a tap rack and pinch. It caters to a lot of different types of shooters. That's what's one of the really cool things about it. The next reason we went with a Lone Wolf frame is how many of us that shoot 19s get slide bite. It's one of those things that we can't avoid. With the Agency Arms grip package, when we remove the finger grooves, when we do our stipple jobs, generally speaking, depending on your hand size, you're gonna get slide bite. We all know that sucks, but we all work through it. With this one, obviously the Lone Wolf offers the extended beaver tail. We also radius the rear of the tail to kind of make it ours, so you'll notice right here that we have a little bit of a radius and a scoop. It's one of the things that we love to do to kind of help shelf that gun back up into your hand. Going on down the gun, you'll notice that there's a little bit of a lip here. This lip helps most people with a shooting grip to shelf your hand back up into that gun to keep it as tight as you possibly can. Just go ahead and put a safe area in here. we are still offering the battle plate on all nocks. I call it the zero commitment slide. You guys can go RMR, you guys can go non-RMR. If you have an RMR now, you can put it on. If you decide you don't like the RMR, you can pull it off. I think variety is kind of one of the things that we really look for in our firearms. This one caters to a lot of demographics, and I hope you all get a chance to check it out and appreciate it for what it is. Thank you very much.
Hey Paul, can you show them how it threads off?
What's that?
Are you going to remove it to show them how it threads off?
We'll go ahead and disassemble it for you. To remove the comp, once again this one has been fired plenty. We're going to go ahead and push the barrel up like we normally would, pull it out, exposing the sight tracker, then we're just going to remove the comp. This is super easy for those guys that want to take the front end of your comp, whether you want to clean it, obviously you want to, whether you want to put it in the ultrasonic, which it will be safe for, and it reassembles in the gun just like it comes out. Obviously the barrel does have our agency treatment. We've done our hex pattern on it. Overall, this is a 19 barrel, so generally, I mean, when I looked at it at first, I thought, man, it's short. I mean, because the threads are kind of confusing to look at, but we do have a 19 overall length. So we're not losing accuracy, we're not losing any type of efficiency. The comp works really well with most and all types of manufacturer ammo and ammunition. You can tune your ammo if you're into that. Obviously, that's not a big deal at all. Do we have any questions? Let me rephrase. What are your questions? And OC.
What ammo's been running the best so far? Anything you've used?
Right now, 115 grain obviously is great. The cool thing about any compensated gun, as we know, the heavier and hotter we go, the better that comp works. And this bitch breathes. This breathes real good. Go ahead. The lone wolf frame you can purchase and send in if you'd like to have it done, but this gun will be shipping complete.